Hi guys, welcome back on my channel. Dorota Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator here, and today we are going to do my favorite technique, you know that guys. It is a one stroke with the combination of the cat eye. Have a wee preview of it in here. Absolutely fantastic design, a little bit more advanced because I don't want to keep you bored just with the easy and simple ones, and I hope you really enjoy watching this tutorial. If you do, let me know down in the comments below, as I would love to read them all. And if you're existing subscribers, thanks you so much guys for all your likes, comments and shares. If you're new in here, hit the subscribe button, as there is lots of tutorials coming up every Monday, Wednesdays and Saturday. Let's start! A little bit more advanced designs today, just so you are having something more interesting. And look at those beauties, like it is a cat eye with the combination of the one stroke. Absolutely amazing, so pretty, and I will show you step by step how to recreate it. So I've got one ready in here, and then we prepare the other one. So I'm using a cat eye 03. And all the cat eyes are available on our website, which is www.dorotapalitzka.com. It is so beautiful, even on its own. You can see it. And depending how the light hit it, it's either more blue or more purple. And now with the magnet, we are going to get those cat eye effect. But you could use it on its own as well. So I'm just pushing the magnet. So I've got more of it kind of in the middle. I'm pushing it from every side until I'm happy with the results. Okay, and that's the effect which we have created. Then give it a cure. And guys, you often ask me, like, why don't you just put the matte top coat over it? For a basic designs, yes, I'm not bothered, but for really nice results, I prefer to buff it, and it does make a difference to my designs. So this one, I'm just giving couple scratches over it to have a really nice surface for painting. And you don't want to have too large scratches, so the scratches needs to be very delicate so the paint doesn't get stuck in the scratches. This is also very important as well. Okay, so I'm just going to apply the top coat over this one and then give it a buff. And even if I would apply the matte top coat, I would still prefer it buffing it for the better results. Cook it. Okay, so on this one I can start preparing the paint, and I can start painting and then buff the other one just to save a time. Squeezing out the white paint and then some magenta. Oh, and some green as well. And I use the green which is called periodic green, and that's a number 28. I think it has like a really good realistic flowers feel to the leaves. Picking up one side lighter color, dark side on the lower side of my brush. Okay, mix them well, and we are going to start with the large flower first. So what you want to paint is a pretty decent petal on the top. Touch, touch, and a little bit of shakes. Leave the gap, touch, touch, and a little bit of shakes. Now my paint is behaving absolutely amazing on top of the scratch surface. And then on the top we are going to paint exactly the same. So it will be a slightly smaller one. And look, I'm not shaking my hand too much. I'm kind of more massaging the paint rather than shaking my hand. Once the first row of the petal is dry, you can add on a bit more definition by going over it a second time. It's not necessary, but if you want to paint a really beautiful one-stroke flowers, that's like they don't always over 2 layers. The most nicest flowers are done over with the 2 layers. Pick up another scoop of the paint. Okay, and now I'm just going to paint the petals which are going to go in between it. So a tiny wee petal here. Another one in this gap. In the middle. And in this gap here. Start painting the petals which are outside. I want this one to be bigger. Okay, so we've got the background. Then same on this one. And then the tiny one in here. Now I clean my brush, let it dry what we have painted inside, squeeze it nicely with the finger, and I'm going to add another color. So this is going to be the cobalt blue. Just squeeze it out. Mix magenta and those cobalt blue. I really like these combinations of the colors. I think it's so beautiful. Okay, so we've got one petal which is on the top in here, and now I'm doing a closing of the flower. Another petal there, and then we will squeeze another very tiny one inside there. Same in here. Small petal. It's almost like a wee triangle shaped petal. Then another one in here. And then we can start squeezing other petals. Okay, I have picked up those cobalt blue and magenta, and now I'm mixing on a fresh space, but because I've got it on my brush, those cobalt blue, I'm getting a really nice color. The petals, if we're squeezing them, you have to work more with the straight brush. So your brush goes straight, and I'm squeezing a tiny petal there, then almost straight brush, and squeezing another petal here. Okay, you have to really keep a nice and straight brush. Same for these petals there. Almost straight brush, starting straight, straight, lie it a little bit, and we've got one petal. Going to the other side, almost straight brush, and then adding those tiny wee petals. Okay, so this way we're painting like kind of more advanced flowers. I'm just going to add one more in here. So my dark color touch the dark color, and then the light color goes over. So I've got another petal there. And we have created like a really beautiful flowers. And they are not boring because we've got a mixture of the different colors. So I really like to use those kind of combination. I'm cleaning my brush, and then we are going to paint some leaves. And for the leaves, I'm going to mix the color kind of messy again. I don't want the colors to be too strongly separated. And I want to squeeze some green in here. So very tiny leaf. And because the brush has the angle, you kind of get the nice shape of the petals anyway. So it doesn't matter really what you do, you get a nice, look what I'm doing, guys, I'm just touching. You get a nice shape of the petals. Same here to the top. Clean my brush, add the detail. And first of all, we are going to add the white detail. I'm using the D-liner brush now. So the first one I have used, it was the D-Master, the tiny one stroke brush. Just because for some petals we need to press it harder with our brush, and if the brush is too large, you are not able to really do it. You can see I've got hardly any product on my brush, like there is almost nothing in there, but I'm still painting. So this is when we're doing like a more advanced design, level 2. Hardly any product on my brush. I'm just highlighting those twists to the petals. So I don't want to place them everywhere, only in some places. Because we don't want to break what we have painted. Okay, same in here. I want to highlight this place. There is hardly any paint on my brush. So it gives a more depth into the design. And you can also see it, how nice this petal become. Sorry guys, I just grabbed more blue tack. I didn't put enough. Perfect. And never have your brush like covered in a paint. Look, I've got only tiny bits. And almost no pressure. Okay, I'm almost there. Don't want to overdo it. I just need to highlight the petal which is here. Add some green detail, and then this tip is finished. just like a wee grassy parts. So very small detail. And then we can apply the top coat, and once we apply the top coat, the design pops out even more. Okay, so apply the top coat, and look how pretty it is. Absolutely amazing. Okay, that's the flowers which we have created today. I'm going to cook it, and on the second tip we'll paint a different type of rose. So we've got ones like this, and then the second type of the rose is this ones. Again, I want to give it a buff, so I'm using a buffer. Give lots of scratches. Make sure the surface is nice. So first of all, like when we apply the gel polish, there might be some uneven places, same when we apply the top coat. So buffing just makes the tip perfect, and also it creates a perfect surface for acrylic paints to stick into, rather than the matte top coat. Like there is no way I could paint a level 2 flowers with the matte top coat over it. Okay, let's do the next one. So I'm just cleaning my brush, and we are going to paint those kind of roses now, okay? So I'm picking up the light color and the dark color, mix the paint well. And start painting a first flower. So going to the top, give those kind of shaky motion, but not too much. It's more massage than the shaky motion. Look like I'm grabbing the paint and I'm massaging it. Okay, that creates the nicest petals. I will do it one more time, very slow, and then I will speed up a bit. Okay, so touch at the angle, leave it a gap, and massage those painting. Like really well. So when I'm going faster, it looks like I'm kind of massaging it, not massaging, shaking my hand. Actually, I'm more massaging, like going back and wiggle. Okay, so we've got the base. It will look nice as a five petal flower as well. Now on the top we are going to do, I will do it actually exactly the same like in here. So this purple color, I've got probably hardly anything. Oh, this one is dead. Do I have purple? No, I don't. Oh, I do have. The ones with the label on it are so old, like I would say they are, I don't know, at least 10 years old paints. So the paints last really ages. Okay, let's pick up this purple one. I didn't clean my brush, so I will have a really actually nice combination of the color for a top petal. Because I've got still those blue with the purple in there. Okay, massage it. Clean the brush. For those type of flowers, you need to work really clean. And the best tip I can give you now, so let's break these flowers, because until I didn't understood that, I wasn't able to paint the roses. So you've got the white on top of it, and then you've got blue in here. Okay, we've got white and blue. If you go too high with your brush over the white, the next petal is not going to be visible. So you need to leave the gap, and you need to place your petal below the white. So your next petal is going to be over the blue, not over the white. Okay, let's try it. You can do it actually with me as well. It's probably easier when we kind of do it together. And you just need to practice one stroke, and I'm sure you will love it the same way I do. Okay, so we've got white, which is starting where the blue is. And then you can go to the top a little bit. And then to the bottom. Okay, so we have got this first part in here. Then another part of the petals, again painted only where the blue is. So you need to be low enough so the petals from behind are visible. Okay, so sometimes squeezing less petals is better than when you've got too many of them. Now let's close this rose, but so pick up the paint, and then we'll do the same on the top flower, just so you remember. Now white needs to touch the white. I will only do the touch, okay? So first of all, white touch the white. Go lower, 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 lower. And we've got the closing done, okay? And now the same on the top. So I'm mixing the purple and the blue. Pick up the white. So paint inside. Wait for it to dry. And then do the closing of the rose. On the side, straight brush. Massage it. And we've got one petal. Now other side, so at the angle, with another petal. I can touch up this one more, clean my brush, and do the same on the bottom one. So mix my paint well, and now we are going to add more petals. So I'm going to work through the petals because this flower is bigger. I want one more row of the petals on the bottom, okay? And then I will squeeze even smaller ones inside. So the first petals, I'm starting where I've got some gaps. I can make them even pretty bigger. Okay, so I've got one petal. Ideally, for those type of flowers where the detail really makes a big difference, pick up the fresh paint even each time if you need to. Straight brush and a very small petal there. And then I want to squeeze more petals there. So I need to be low enough so the white is visible. And I'm painting only with the tip of my brush. Okay, in this way we have created beautiful roses, quick clear leaves. So clean my brush, squeeze in between the fingers. another tip what I can give you guys as well, like, because you're probably wondering what she's doing on the sides with all those mixing paints. I find that when I pick up the water and I clean my brush, I want to load my brush with the paint. So I'm picking up it a little bit kind of messy, and then I pick up the separated colors and then gently I blend them in. But because my brush is loaded with the paint, I can paint it better. I don't know if that makes sense, like, but that's the way I'm doing it. And I have tried so many different things with the one stroke because it's a technique which I'm really fascinated about. So it does works for me. And the last leaf. And I think also because my brush is so loaded with the paint, I can paint more petals. So the one load of the brush will be plenty. Okay, quickly the grassy parts and some details. So I've got green over my D-liner brush, very watery. Every time when we're painting the small lines, you want to work very watery. I have added a drop of the white in there and very light lines. Okay, white, very watery. I've got too much paint on my brush now. And if you've got too much paint, you are not going to be able to paint nice. Add the detail. I don't want to outline it too much, so this doesn't look too fake. Okay, just a wee tiny lines. Clean it and then highlight the roses. Okay, so in this one we want to indicate this is rounded shape. Okay, and if I would use white, if I would have a clear, I'll show you guys actually. I need to show you this. So if I would pick up my paint, like for a one stroke level 1, which is this, okay, when I've got two separate colors and they are not mixed, I've got white and I've got blue. And if I would paint it, they would be, on the top, the white would be very strong. So when I will be using the white paint to outline it, it's not going to be visible. That's why I'm mixing my paint kind of messy way. It's not messy way, it's done for a reason. So when I'm using the white is going to stand out because my white here is not white, it's mixed with the blue, okay? But we still got those one stroke in there. So those type of mixing of the paint is great for a one stroke level 1 for like a beginners. But if you want to have a painting nicer flowers, you would mix it more your paints, okay? So when you're outlining, the white is visible, even if you use a very small drop of the white. So the water, the paint is very watery now. Okay, and then I need to paint the middle. So I'm picking up a very tiny bit paint. And I paint a swirly part. You can also highlight this place. Highlight this place. And this one, look what I'm doing, I'm prolonging the petals which I have painted. Same in here. So once I start painting the one stroke for a bit longer, my brush train up for like a nice painting. So for a quick designs, guys, I'm working more messy and not as precise. But when painting like a really detailed flowers, my brush start training to the more advanced designs, because the shape of the brush becomes slightly different when I'm only working with the product on the tip. Look, there is almost no product in there. So this way I can paint really nice detail. I can even create a petals which didn't exist. Okay, so there was no petal, I have just painted with the white. And obviously the more time I spend on it, the prettier it becomes. I can also make something like a bended petal. There we are. Highlight this one. We are almost done. I'm not going to take forever. I mean, I could. It would be even nicer, because those details make a huge difference. Okay, that's enough. That's plenty. Leave it, leave it. A couple dots. So for the dots, I'm going to use, sometimes the dotting tool isn't small enough, like when I want to create a really tiny dots. So I'm using the old brush, and never do the dots. It is very tempting, but do not do the dots with your good brush. If you do the dots with your good brush, the brush can go to the bin. Perfect. Wait a couple seconds for it to dry, and then we can apply the top coat, and then the design is going to pop out even more. I didn't wait, hope the white didn't smudge. Anyway, guys, I hope you have really enjoyed, oh, it didn't smudge. You have really enjoyed watching this tutorial. If you did, hit those share buttons for me, pretty please. Just so I've got a bit more views and a motivation to record more tutorials for you. I'm going to cook this one. So yeah, 1 stroke level 2, and just for actually I've got some flowers here which will be more of a level 1, kind of like a mixture, so they will be much simple flowers, and there is a tutorials on them as well, like how to paint those kind of easy ones. You can check that out, plus lots of more 1 stroke, because it's one of my favorite techniques. That's the other flowers which we have created. I will just put them on the display case so you can see it. And I love the deepness of these flowers, the fact we have used few different colors. I think it just makes them look much prettier. Okay, and then the other one is almost cooked, so I can attach it as well, and then show you this. So there we are. That's what we have created today. Look at this, guys. These flowers are so amazing. Like, let me show you. This one's the deepness. We've got some dark color in there and then lighter color. Absolutely stunning and beautiful designs. So hit the share button, and if you're new in here, subscribe. Sending you glittery hacks, and bye for now.